Hello everybody and welcome to Bases Loaded. I'm Scott Ashley Smith alongside this deviant. It's Michael Cezzino. Today we're going to be talking about the American League East. And I have to say, for so many years people just picked the New York Yankees and
yep, you could just pencil them in.
And maybe you thought maybe the Boston Red Sox could do something. I think we're in a new era.
It's a very new era.
And I believe a team, orange and black, that's not the Giants, is probably the team to beat now. Would you say the Baltimore Orioles are the team to beat?
I am 100% in agreement with that, Scott. The Baltimore Orioles are the team to beat. They have definitely taken over the division. With Buck Showalter coming in, there's been a total change in atmosphere. They have real leaders like Adam Jones, who, in my opinion, will be the AL MVP this year. Really above average pitching, good back into the bullpen. Just guys who know how to win. Obviously, there are concerns with Matt Wieters and Manny Machado. Will those guys come back 100% healthy? If they do, this division will be over very soon.
I agree with you. I really think that the Baltimore Orioles reflect the San Francisco Giants in the sense that they didn't do too much here in the offseason.
They need to.
They lost Nelson Cruz. They lost Markakis. And they lost Andrew Miller, which I think was a
that's
huge,
probably the biggest loss.
I mean, the Yankees got him, but I think it was a wasted free agent signing, in my opinion. Baltimore Orioles, Adam Jones, which I really like that as a pick. My American League MVP is Cano, because I really think he's going to take them over the hump and get them into the playoffs.
Yep.
But Buck Showalter, to me, is probably the most underrated manager in baseball. This is a guy that probably should have several Manager of the Year awards under his belt. And the fact that he doesn't, to me, is very unfortunate.
Yes.
But we look at this and we say the Baltimore Orioles, we believe, tops of the division.
Definitely.
And then, to me, it gets a little muddy.
Okay. Who you got?
And let's hold off on the team that I think is going to come in second.
Okay.
And let's just go with the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's just get them out of the way.
Let's go with the Rays.
Joe Madden.
Yes.
They lose basically everybody else.
They still have Evan Longoria.
They're left with a AAA team and Evan Longoria.
Evan Longoria is very good. Unfortunately, he can only bat once every 9 times.
Are you sure? There's not a rule?
I checked the rules. It's 1 every 9.
Ooh.
So there's a problem with the Rays. Pitching-wise, you have Jake McGee, who could become a good closer. We don't really know, but it could be. The only problem is there's really nobody before him in the bullpen. Starting pitching-wise, nobody stands out. And like you said with the lineup, I mean, take away Evan Longoria, the Grizzlies versus the Rays, I mean, they could both be very AAA-ish.
Yeah. I mean, when you're replacing David Price with the Drew Smiley,
that's a bad trade.
Matt Moore, you got...
he has health issues.
So, I mean, you got talented pitchers, but not like when you had David Price.
Yes. Well, David Price, you knew what you were getting day in and day out.
Yeah.
He was the leader of the team. You could rely on him. He was a Cy Young candidate every year. When you walk in with that kind of confidence, you have a totally different team.
I mean, they have Archer. So, I mean, I think they got some youth, but I think it's years off. And it's just a matter of, do they have the position players coming up that's going to be able to back up this pitching staff, and stuff. And I really think maybe trading off Evan Longoria might be the way to bring in some players, and let's push for a few years down the road.
Yeah, you hate to see a team trade away its best player, but I think the Rays are going to have a harsh reality here in a year or two, where if you don't do that, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of fourth and fifth place finishes. I foresee in the next couple of years, unless you do something drastic.
And speaking of doing something drastic, the Boston Red Sox.
They did a lot drastic. They did. They brought in over Pablo Sandoval, Hanley Ramirez, made some changes to that offense. The offense has a lot of young players, in Betts and Castillo, and Bogarts. So they have a lot of good young bats. I think the offense actually is pretty decent. I think those young bats will have a lot more impact than those big free agent signings of Sandoval and Ramirez, which I'm not sure how much will pan out. I still think there's too many question marks. The pitching, in my opinion, just can't compete with the level that an AL East is accustomed to. So I see the Red Sox finishing in the middle of the pack around the third. Like I said, I think that offense is going to be fun. I think it's going to be exciting. I think people are going to want to see that offense, especially with those young guys. But unfortunately, somebody's got to throw the ball.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Hanley Ramirez signing and then also putting him in a unknown position
He's going to play left field for the first time ever. Never played a game there.
Green Monster, and then you're going to have...
Steph.
And then he'll be backing up Pablo Sandoval, who will be at third place.
That's not the best.
So, and I've always been told that pandas don't do well in cold weather. So
they hate the cold weather.
Yeah, and not very frisky. That's why they're endangered.
Exactly.
So I think this year a championship could be endangered when it comes to Beantown. So
I think they're going to play the 162 games, and that'll probably be it.
That'll probably be it.
Yeah.
Another team in disarray was the New York Yankees. I mean, they got A-Rod coming back. They've got the ghost of George Steinbrenner coming back.
Yeah.
Because I think he's the reason. The ghost is why they're going to have A-Rod on the team, and they didn't trade him. What do you see with the Yankees?
Well, A-Rod's untradeable. First of all, he still has 3 years left of his deal, about $62 million. But I've totally gone a whole 360 on A-Rod. I really think the Yankees are going to be very happy with what they get out of A-Rod this year. He probably won't have to play the field anymore. He'll play most of his games at DH, which, at his age and his injuries and taking a year off, obviously will be beneficial to him. I think you're going to get a lot of pop from him. I'm expecting about 25, 30 home runs back to the A-Rod. Not quite the A-Rod of his MVP days, but the A-Rod of a couple
kind of
years
reminiscent
ago.
of Barry Bonds and his... After he came back from his 1-year injury, and he had 26 and 28 respectfully in the final 2 years of his deal.
I mean, you have to remember, this is one of the greatest players in the last 25 years. This isn't just some random guy coming back. This is Alex Rodriguez, who has over 600 home runs, could get to 700. So this is one of the all-time greats.
And I think he leads all players in STDs. But so
I think he's close to it.
Yeah,
I think he's close to it. So maybe he'll break that record this year.
Oh, that'd be good.
So yes, but you have Rodriguez, and then if Sabathia can come back healthy.
I think that's gonna be key. Is the
that's gonna be huge. Tanaka healthy. You got Michael Pineda, who has been fabulous.
Joe Girardi comes back healthy.
That would be good too.
Yeah, they need their manager healthy.
Yep. And that bullpen, they lost Robertson, but, as we mentioned, Andrew Miller is going to be a Yankee now.
And then they have Betanondanis.
And Betanondanis, yes.
Yeah, whatever his
name. So, whoever he is, he can pitch. And it'll be either him or Miller for the closer spot. Whoever doesn't get it will be the 8th inning role. So now you're going to have a really strong back end of the bullpen. So a guy like Sabathia, who is getting older, won't need to go, his normal 8 or 9 innings in a game. Now he can go 5 or 6 and still be effective.
I like it. I do think losing Robertson is going to affect them. So because he really was like an effortless transition from Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's a White Sox.
He is.
So
lucky for them.
They need to hope that Bettis,
yes,
however you say his name, and Miller really can bridge the gap because they've got some pitchers that have shown that they don't really have a lot of mileage in them.
True.
Getting broken down. A team that seems to have been trying to get some mileage is the Toronto Blue Jays. They seem to sign everybody or trade for everybody.
I feel like they do this every year. And every year they always have high expectations and they always disappoint. A couple years ago, when they got Jose Reyes and Mark Burley and R.A. Dickey, the big splash was, oh my god, the Jays are going to win 100 games. And, obviously that didn't pan out. This year, similar things. They got Josh Donaldson from the Oakland A's. Made all kinds of moves, but I just don't see in this division. I just don't see the Jays making the run. I think the bullpen just quite isn't there. They do have some young players coming up, so maybe in a year or two. I just don't know where the pitching's going to come from.
Yeah, I think that's their weakest spot is the pitching.
Yeah.
Mark Burley can only do so much. He's really at a point now where he's not an ace.
I mean, I don't know if he ever was an ace, but he's clearly a number 5 starter now. And R.A. Dickey, who is their ace, is clearly a number 4 starter in my opinion.
They really have back end running the front end.
Right.
And if you've ever seen that, Volkswagen Beetle, the trunk is in the front, and we all know that the quality
bad things can happen when that happens.
That is never good.
Exactly.
So that was, we got the Orioles pretty much walking away with it probably in a roundabout way.
And I have the Yankees second.
As do I.
There you go.
And then it's a Royal Rumble from then on out.
After that, whoever gets thrown off the top rope will stays in. You know what I mean? So.
Oh man! So that was our American League East.
Yep.
Recap.
Preview.
Big reveal.
We'll recap at the end of the season.
We'll recap at the end of
Previewing
the
now.
season. I really think this division is no longer can be claimed as the best division of baseball.
No, it can't. It's still a very good division. Still very exciting.
It'll still be the most seen on ESPN.
Yeah, as long as you have New York and Boston in there, you
Yeah.
will. But still going to be a good division. The top 3 teams, you're going to see a lot of action. And I think the league MVP is going to come out of this division. And I think Baltimore is going to have the best record in the AL. So still a lot to look for in this division.
All right, so that was our American League East and review, and we will like it if you would tell us what you think about how you think the American League will stack up. Put it down in the comments.
And who do you think will be MVP?
Give a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, and just overall give us a hug.
Why not?
I like that. Nice little hugs.
That's always
Well,
nice.
I'm Scott Ashley Smith, and this guy.
I'm Michael Cezina.
And you've been watching Bases Loaded from the beautiful SAS Studios in Tulare, California. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye.
Goodbye.